Title: A cozy secret library inside a hollow giant tree in a rainy forest. Warm lanterns, smell of old paper, sound of rain on leaves. Chapter 1. Your heel makes contact with the ground, but there is no hard impact. There is no jarring thud. Instead, you feel the earth rise up to meet you, soft and yielding. You are walking on inches thick moss, a living carpet of velvet. As you slowly transfer your weight onto your foot, rolling from heel to toe, you can feel the spongy texture compressing under your sole. It sinks, giving way with a slow, luxurious compliance, hugging the shape of your shoe, cradling your step. And as you lift your foot to take the next slow step, you can almost feel the moss rebounding, slowly rising back up, erasing the footprint you just made. Silent, resilient, forgiving. With every step, you feel your body becoming lighter, drifting further into the peace of the woods. The acoustic quality of the world has shifted instantly. The moment you stepped under the eaves of the trees, the air became muffled. It is a deadened, cozy silence that presses gently against your ears. The dense foliage, layer upon layer of it, surrounding you, absorbs all the sharp noises, smoothing out the edges of the world. There are no echoes here. If a bird were to call, it would be a short, soft sound swallowed immediately by the green. It feels like stepping into a library, or a vast cathedral, or a bedroom lined with heavy velvet curtains. The silence is not empty, it is heavy and rich. It is a silence that invites you to rest, to let your shoulders drop, to let your jaw unclench. You walk slowly. There is no rush. There is nowhere else you need to be. Drifting deeper. The light is fading. It is that magical, suspended time between day and night, twilight. Look at the ferns lining the path near your knees. Just moments ago, they might have been a vibrant, shouting emerald. But as you watch them now, swaying almost imperceptibly in the still air, their color is deepening. You can see the shift happening, a slow surrender to the coming night. They are turning a muted, deep sea green. It is a color that belongs to the depths of the ocean, calm and still. The shadows are beginning to pool at their bases, making the fronds look soft, like feathers painted in heavy oil. Everything is softening. Everything is slowing down. As you move deeper, drifting along this soft path, the air grows cooler. It is not cold, but fresh. You step into a small hollow in the path, a dip in the landscape, and you feel the temperature drop slightly. It is a physical sensation, brushing against the bare skin of your face and hands like cool silk. It glides over you, a gentle current of air that carries the temperature of the earth itself, calm and grounding. It soothes your forehead, smoothing away any tension. And with that cool air comes the scent. It fills you. Take a deep breath in and let it out slowly, releasing any remaining tightness. It is the smell and taste of green. It is a heavy, humid richness. You can taste the crushed pine needles that have lain on the forest floor for decades, steeping in the mist. You can smell the damp, black earth, fertile and sleeping. It enters your lungs, expanding them, and with every breath, you feel a little heavier, a little more anchored to this place. The air is thick with life, oxygenated and pure, cleaning out the dust of the day, allowing you to settle. You stop for a moment to look up. The canopy is thick, a ceiling of leaves and branches, but here and there are gaps, tiny, irregular shapes, like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle that haven't been placed yet. Through these gaps, you can see the sky. It is no longer blue. It is an indigo gradient, a deep, dark purple fading into black, visible only in these small, fragmented windows. It reminds you that the night is wrapping around the forest, holding it close. The sky is heavy, lulling the world to sleep. A fine sensation touches your face. It is the mist. The rain above is smashing against the leaves, shattering into millions of microscopic particles that drift down through the branches, like a ghost. You feel the atomized mist settling coolly on the bridge of your nose. You feel a tiny, feather-light coolness touch your eyelashes, causing you to blink slowly, heavily. It is refreshing, a baptism of the finest spray, hydrating your skin and lulling your senses into the present moment. To your left, there is an ancient oak tree. Its trunk is massive, wider than your reach. You step closer to it, drawn to its stability. The light is low, but you can see the dull, satin sheen of its bark. It is wet, reflecting the last gray light of the day in long, vertical streaks. It looks like polished iron, strong and unmoving. You reach out your hand to steady yourself, to connect with this silent giant. Your palm grazes the surface. It is rough, textured with the ridges of time. You feel the damp friction of lichen growing on the north side of the trunk. It crumbles slightly under your touch, soft and ancient. The tree feels solid, immovable, a pillar that has stood here for centuries. Touching it makes you feel small in the most comforting way. You are supported. You do not need to hold yourself up anymore. You are just a visitor passing through this timeless hall, guided by the quiet. Listen, can you hear it? Beneath the distant roar of the canopy rain, there is something closer, a singular, syncopated rhythm. Focus your attention on it. Let everything else fade away. To your right, a pine bough hangs low, heavy with water. Droplets are gathering at its tip, growing heavy, succumbing to gravity, and falling onto a flat slate stone below. Plink, plink, plink. It is hypnotic, irregular, yet constant. You find your breathing slowing down to match the space between the drops. Inhale, exhale. You wait for the next one. Plink. It is the heartbeat of the forest, a slow water clock counting down the moments, stretching time out until a single second feels like a minute. Every drop is a signal to relax deeper. Your eyes drift from the stone to a tangled root near your feet. There, a tiny, temporary rivulet of water has formed. It is no wider than a piece of string. You watch it wind its way over the gnarled wood. It makes a sound too, a tiny bubbling gurgle, a happy, quiet sound. It flows over the root, tumbling down into the moss, disappearing as quickly as it appeared. It is just for you, a secret stream in the twilight, flowing away, taking your thoughts with it. You continue along the path. The pace is languid. Your body feels different now. slower, heavier. Your clothing feels slightly heavier against your skin. The fabric of your shirt, your sleeves, has absorbed the ambient humidity of the forest. It has become softer, draping over your shoulders with a gentle weight. It feels like a hug, a loose, comforting embrace that signals your body to relax completely. Let your shoulders drop. Let the tension drain out of your arms, flowing down past your elbows, into your wrists, and out through your fingertips, drifting. Ahead of you, the path is marked by soft shadows. The light source, perhaps the last glow of the moon behind the clouds, is lowering. This creates a stippled pattern of darkness and gray on the ground. The shadows stretch long and thin, distorting the shape of the roots and ferns, creating a mosaic on the floor. You watch your own shadow merge with them, becoming part of the pattern. You are blending in. You are no longer separate from the forest. You are becoming a shadow within it, weightless and formless. Something catches your eye, a tiny glint in the darkness. You lean in closer, your movement slow and deliberate. Spanning the gap between two tall ferns is a spider web. You wouldn't have seen it in the daylight, but now, in this damp twilight, it is visible. It is beaded with hundreds of microscopic water droplets. They cling to the silk strands like pearls on a necklace. It is a masterpiece of engineering, fragile and perfect, glowing faintly in the gloom. It hangs there, undisturbed, a testament to the stillness of the air down here, protected from the wind and the rain above. It hangs in perfect balance, just as you are balanced between wakefulness and sleep. You look closely at a single leaf near the web. There is a raindrop suspended at its very tip. It hangs there, defying gravity for a second longer than it should. It is perfectly round, a heavy sphere of crystal. For a split second, it acts as a lens. You look through it and see the vein structure of the leaf behind it, magnified, green and intricate, clearer than anything you have ever seen. And then it falls. Gone, replaced instantly by the next bead of water. The cycle continues, endless and patient. You take another step, and your foot finds a small twig hidden in the moss. Snap. The sound is sharp and clean, a dry crack. But the moment it happens, it is swallowed. The sound doesn't travel. The rain on the canopy, the soft moss, the walls of leaves, they absorb the snap instantly. It is there, and then it is erased. The forest accepts the sound and returns you to silence. It feels like permission. Permission to be here. Permission to make noise. Permission to be imperfect. The forest simply absorbs it all, wrapping you back up in the quiet velvet of the night. It is a specific feeling, one you remember from childhood. It is the feeling of being under a heavy wool blanket on a cold night. The weight of it, the warmth, the security. The forest wraps around you with that same density. The air is the blanket. The sound is the blanket. You are hidden away in a pocket of the world where nothing can touch you. The indigo sky is almost gone now, replaced by the comforting gray-black of the forest night. But you are not in darkness. You are in a twilight state, suspended in the green and the gray. You feel safe. You feel held. The busyness of the day is a million miles away, washed away by the rain on the roof of the world. Here, there is only the moss, only the mist, only the rhythmic plink of the water, only the slow, deep breath in your lungs. You are completely alone and completely connected, wrapped in the cool silk of the air, grounded by the wet earth, protected by the towering sentinels of oak and pine. This is your space. This is your time. The path stretches on, but for now, standing here in the shelter of the canopy is enough. You are drifting. You are heavy. You simply exist. Chapter 2. It is the oak. It rises before you not merely as a tree, but as a silent mountain of living wood, a sentinel that has stood since the earth was young. Its canopy is lost in the low-hanging clouds above, a ceiling of leaves shielding you from the sky. Its roots are distinct and massive, knuckles of timber disappearing into the damp earth like sleeping leviathans. There is a profound stillness here, a deep, resonant quiet that commands your heart to beat slower, slower, and slower still. Draw closer now, pulled by a gravity that feels like coming home. The air here is cool, moist, and heavy with the scent of rain, petrichor, and deep time. You extend your hand, moving it through the misty air with a languid heaviness, drawn magnetically toward the surface of the colossal tree. Your fingers make contact. There is a specific grounding sensation here. Focus entirely on the pads of your fingertips. You feel the tactile friction of damp, silver-lichened bark grazing against your skin. It is rough, yet delicate, a microscopic landscape of ancient life clinging to the wood. The moisture from the bark transfers to your skin, cool and awakening. You trace the ridges of the wood, feeling the texture of centuries of growth, the slow upward spiral of the tree's history. Your hand glides further, seeking the entrance you know is there. Your palm brushes against something smooth, cold, and solid. Iron. Embedded in the living wood is a rounded door, bound in iron bands that have darkened with age, but have never rusted away. You reach into your pocket. The movement is slow, fluid, like moving through warm water. You retrieve the heavy iron key. It feels significant in your hand, dense and cool. You align the tip of the key with the dark void of the lock. You push gently. The mechanism turns with a heavy, satisfying thud. You step inside, and the world falls away. Now, listen. The silence is not empty. It is textured silence. You hear muffled, distant drumming of rain on the roof, filtered through feet of solid wood. It is a rhythm that lulls you, a reminder that the storm is out there and you are in here, and that creates a profound sense of immunity. The wood absorbs the noise, turning the chaotic sound of rain into a gentle, rhythmic heartbeat. Thrum, thrum, thrum. You turn your back to the door and look at your sanctuary. The space is round, hollowed from the heart of the great tree. The visual texture of the inner walls captivate your eyes. Curved, polished oak glowing with a satin finish. The wood grain flows in long, unbroken rivers of amber and brown, swirling around the room, embracing you. There are no sharp corners here, no hard edges to catch your thoughts. Everything is curved. Everything is continuous. Your eyes adjust to the dim, golden illumination. On a small table made of a burl, a lantern sits. You hear the faint, rhythmic hiss of a beeswax candle burning inside a mica lantern. It is a whisper of fire. The light from this lantern passes through colored panes, casting variegated orange patterns on a braided rug. The patterns do not move because the air is so still. They lie across the floor like pools of liquid citrine and topaz. You walk further into the room. The floorboards are warm beneath your feet. In the center of the room sits a small cast iron stove, its belly glowing with a dull cherry red light. You hear the faint thermal ticking sound of the metal radiating steady warmth. Tick, tick. It is the sound of metal expanding and contracting. The sound of heat working to keep you comfortable. It is a hypnotic metronome, syncing with your pulse. Tick, relax. Tick, release. As you exhale, you feel the change in your physical being. You experience the feeling of muscles involuntarily unclamping and lowering as the chill leaves the body. Your shoulders drop 2 inches, the small muscles around your eyes smooth out. Your jaw unhinges slightly, relaxing. Your hands, which had been gripping the cold world outside, now hang loose and warm at your sides. The dampness is gone. The cold is a memory. There is only the golden light, the smell of cedar, the distant drumming of the rain, the ticking of the stove, and the profound, ancient safety of the hollow oak. You are inside. You are safe. You are home. You move toward a large, overstuffed chair covered in velvet, positioned near the stove. Every movement you make is slow, as if you are moving through warm honey. You turn and lower yourself into the chair. It receives you. It conforms to you. You extend your legs toward the stove. You watch the amber light play across the walls. Phase 2 is complete. The threshold has been crossed. The sanctuary has been claimed. There is nothing left to do but exist in this warmth. Nothing to solve, nothing to fix. Just the golden dust motes, the ticking iron, and the heavy, wonderful silence of the tree. Rest here. Drift here. Be here. Chapter 3. Here is the expanded, final version of the chapter, rewritten to optimize pacing, sensory immersion, and hypnotic cadence. Take a slow, deep breath. Let your lungs fill completely, expanding the rib cage gently, without effort. Hold it there for a moment, just a moment, suspending time, and then let it go. Release the breath in a long, steady stream, feeling your shoulders drop, feeling the tension melting away like warm wax. Pause here in the quiet. There is no rush to breathe in again, just rest in the stillness between the breaths. Now inhale slowly once more. Feel your chest rise with a gentle, rhythmic tide. Hold the air, letting it nourish you, and then exhale, soft and long. With this breath, the noise of the day begins to fade into the distance. You are becoming heavier. You are becoming softer. Take one more breath, the deepest one yet. Fill yourself with a sense of absolute peace. And as you exhale, feel yourself drifting down into a state of perfect relaxation. Your heartbeat slows, your mind settles. As you breathe in again, notice the quality of the air around you. Before you smell anything, you feel it. The air entering your nose is cool, perfectly still, and incredibly dry. It feels settled, as if this air has not moved in a very long time. Then the layers of the scent reveal themselves to you, one by one. The first thing that greets you is a heavy, honeyed aroma. It is the smell of warm beeswax melting slowly, drifting through the stillness. It is a thick, sweet scent that seems to coat the back of your throat with comfort. It is the smell of a soft, golden light. You let that sweetness fade, and underneath it you find a second distinct fragrance. It is the dry, dusty smell of parchment. It is that distinct, comforting fragrance of paper that has waited for hundreds of years just to be found. It is sharper than the wax, clean and earthy. The two scents mix together, the sweet wax and the dry paper, filling your senses, grounding you,
pulling you deeper into this space of absolute safety. You open your eyes, slowly. At first, everything is a soft blur of amber and shadow. Your eyes take a moment to adjust to the dim, golden light. You do not see the source of the light immediately. Instead, you see the warm glow reflecting off a wooden surface near you.
Gradually, the source clarifies. It is a cluster of candles resting on a rough-hewn table. Look closely at the flame. Focus entirely on the soft amber translucency of the beeswax candle flame. It stands perfectly still. There is no draft here, no wind, no disturbance. The flame is a teardrop of pure light, motionless in the quiet air. Around the flame, the air is alive with tiny particles. Dust motes are dancing in the shaft of candlelight. Watch them. They are moving with a languid underwater slowness. They drift up, then float down, spiraling lazily, catching the gold of the flame before vanishing into the shadows again. They are not in a hurry, and neither are you. You watch one single speck of dust drift across your field of vision, taking seconds to move mere inches. It is mesmerizing. It is calming. You are drifting with them. You decide to move. You take a single step forward. The movement is slow, almost dreamlike. You shift your weight from your heel to your toe, feeling the floor beneath you. It is solid wood, warm and firm, but as you place your weight down, there is no creak. The floor feels incredibly dense, substantial. With each step, you become more aware of the structure around you. You look at the floorboards, and you notice something strange. There are no seams. The grain of the wood flows continuously beneath your feet. You follow the lines of the grain with your eyes as they travel across the floor and begin to curve upward. The floor does not meet the wall in a sharp corner. Instead, the wood gently curves up, becoming the wall itself. There are no nails, no planks, no joinery. The entire room is one continuous, organic shape. You realize, with this sense of wonder, that this is not a room built of dead planks. You are standing inside a hollow carved directly into the heart of a colossal, living tree. You reach out your hand to your right. Your fingertips brush against the wall. Feel the tactile contrast here. Under the pad of your thumb, you feel the rough, craggy bark of the living walls, deep fissures, hard ridges, the armor of the ancient tree. It feels strong, protective. But just inches away, where a shelf has been carved out of the same wood, the surface changes. It becomes smooth, planed wood. Your fingers glide from the rough bark to the polished shelf, a transition as soothing as falling asleep. Resting on this shelf, just above eye level, is a detail only you would notice in this quiet state. You lean in slightly. There is a scent here, different from the beeswax. It is the sharp, clean astringency of cedar sap. You can see a tiny droplet of it crystallizing on the underside of the carved shelf. It smells fresh, preserved, a drop of the tree's lifeblood frozen in time, offering its clean perfume to the air you breathe.
You turn your attention to the center of the room. Rising up, spiraling into the shadows above, is a staircase. It is a masterpiece of nature and craft. You walk toward it, your movements slow and deliberate, as if moving through water. You place your hand on the handrail. Pause here. Feel that texture. It is the satin-smooth texture of the spiral handrail, worn down to a glass-like finish by centuries of touch. How many hands have rested here before yours? How many quiet scholars have steadied themselves on this wood? The wood feels soft, almost oily with age, perfectly shaped to your palm. It is cool, yet it holds a latent warmth, a memory of connection.
You look down at the steps themselves. The light from the candles casts a glow across the treads. The wood is dark, rich, and complex. You trace the intricate wood grain patterns on the steps with your eyes. The lines swirl and eddy, twisting around knots and flowing along the length of the plank. They look like flowing water frozen in time. You can almost see the current of the wood, a river of timber that stopped moving centuries ago just to support your weight. As you place your foot on the first step, you feel it. It is not a sound, but a feeling. A faint, rhythmic thrumming sensation underfoot. It is subtle, so very subtle. It echoes the pulse of the tree's sap rising from the deep roots far below, all the way up to the canopy far above. Thrum, thrum, thrum. A deep, warm, and resonant creak, like a slow exhale, vibrating through the floorboards as the living tree settles. It is not a sound of instability. It is the sound of comfort. The tree is adjusting, shifting its weight, getting comfortable for the night, just as you are adjusting, shifting, and getting comfortable. You turn to the shelves that line the inner sanctum. They are endless. You look up, and you experience the dizzying visual of the shelves stretching upward until they fade into velvety, warm darkness. You cannot see the ceiling. The books go on forever, spiraling up into the night, protected by the tree, shrouded in the cozy gloom. You reach out to one of the volumes at shoulder height. It is heavy, substantial. You can see the spine glinting in the low light. There is gold leaf lettering on the spine. As you shift your head slightly, the gold catches a flicker of candlelight. It glows briefly, like an ember, a flash of orange gold fire, before returning to shadow. Your fingers graze the cover of the book next to it. It is not smooth. You feel the cool, pebbled texture of a Morocco leather book cover against the fingertips. It is bumpy, grainy, distinct. You trace the texture, feeling the tiny valleys and hills in the leather. It feels expensive, precious, enduring. You decide to pull a different volume from the shelf. You hook a finger over the top of a thick, leather-bound tome. You pull, very gently. It slides out with resistance, tight in its home. Shh. Hear that? It is the muffled, felt-like sound of a leather-bound volume being slid gently from its slot. It is a soft friction, a whisper of leather against wood. You hold the weight of it in your hands. It is heavy with knowledge, heavy with time. You decide not to open it yet. You simply appreciate the weight. You slide it back. Shh. Thump. The soft, dull thud of the book returning to its place feels final, satisfying. You move back toward the table with the candles. There is a chair there, carved from the same living wood. You sit. The wood embraces you. Your finger finds a small imperfection on the table. It is a hardened drip of beeswax. You run your thumb over it. It is smooth and slightly oily to the touch. It is a raised bump on the flat wood, a tiny monument to a candle that burned here long ago. You trace the shape of the drip, round and organic, cooling under your touch. You sit back in the chair. The air is heavy with that blend of honey, cedar, and old vanilla paper. The shadows of the staircase ribs curve around you. The dust motes continue their slow, underwater dance in the amber light. The tree thrums beneath your feet, a slow, rhythmic lullaby. You are completely safe here, surrounded by the wood that lives, the words that wait, and the scents that comfort. Everything is slow. Everything is heavy. Everything is peaceful. You watch the gold leaf on a distant book spine wink at you one last time, a dying ember in the comfortable dark. You listen to the silence. You breathe in the almond and the wax. You feel the satin handrail in your memory. You are here. You are still. You are deep within the scent of centuries. It is a book, not just any book, but an ancient vessel of calm waiting for you in the shadows. You watch your own hand as it begins to lift, moving as if through thick, warm water, floating weightlessly toward the shelf. It hovers there for a moment, suspended in the quiet air, feeling the stillness of the room before it commits to the motion. Your fingers graze the spine. At first contact, the leather is cool to the touch, a distinct contrast to the warmth of your skin. Light from the small hearth nearby flickers and dances across the surface, and you see the amber glow of the fire catching the gold leaf lettering. The gold is not bright, it is burnished, deep, and rich, glowing with a warmth that seems to emanate from within the binding itself. It reflects the firelight in slow, hypnotic shimmers, holding your gaze, inviting your eyes to soften, to lose their focus on the sharp edges of reality. Your hand closes around the spine. You do not pull it yet. You simply feel it. The leather warms quickly beneath your palm, accepting your heat. You bring your thumb around to the front cover. You feel the microscopic ridges of the pebbled leather moving under your thumb pad. It is a landscape of texture, rugged yet incredibly soft, worn smooth by centuries of careful hands. You slide your thumb down, creating a faint, dry sound, a whisper of skin against old leather, feeling every tiny bump, every grain, a tactile map of history that grounds you in this exact moment. Now, slowly, infinitesimally, you tilt the book back. You allow its gravity to meet your hand. You begin to slide it from its resting place. It does not come free instantly. There is friction. As you pull, you feel the gentle drag of the cover sliding against the books on either side. You hear the soft, hushed shh of paper brushing against paper, a sound like a long, slow exhale. As the book leaves the shelf, you feel the air rushing into the small void it leaves behind, a cool draft on your knuckles. It comes free with a heavy grace. You bring it toward you, and the scent reaches you before the weight does, a faint waft of binding glue and old parchment. Then you feel the dull, substantial thump of the heavy tome resting against the palm. It is heavier than it looks. It is a solid, reassuring weight. It feels permanent. It feels real. This weight travels up your arm, relaxing the shoulder, telling your muscles that they can let go, that this object is here to anchor you. You turn, shifting your weight slowly from one foot to the other, moving with the slow, deliberate grace of a dream. You take a step, and then another. Beneath your feet, you feel the thick, woven texture of the rug, softening every movement. The firelight shifts on the walls as you move, the shadows pivoting around you in a slow, silent dance. Before you sits the armchair. It is vast, overstuffed, a throne of comfort upholstered in deep, midnight-colored velvet. It waits in the semi-darkness, illuminated only by the hearth, looking not just like furniture, but like an invitation, a sanctuary. You step closer. You turn your back to the chair. You feel the backs of your legs make contact. You feel the friction of the plush velvet nap brushing against your clothing. It is a soft, dry caress,
a promise of the support that is about to arrive. It catches slightly, a tactile connection that whispers of safety. You begin to lower yourself, down, slowly down, trusting the chair, trusting the support. You bend your knees, sinking, until you make full contact.
There is a sound, a soft, pneumatic, exhaling hiss of the chair's cushion compressing under your weight. It is the sound of the chair accepting you, breathing out so you can breathe in. You continue to sink. The cushion does not stop. It yields. It wraps around you. It conforms to your shape. You are not sitting on the chair. You are sitting in it. You are being held. You slide back deeper into the nook. You adjust your position, allowing your hips to settle, allowing your spine to align with the soft embrace of the backrest. You feel your elbows drifting outward, seeking the arms of the chair. You press down, and you feel the sensation of the elbows sinking inches deep into the overstuffed armrests. They swallow your tension. Your arms feel weightless now, supported entirely by the billowing clouds of velvet and padding. It is time to settle the book. You have been holding it close to your chest. Now you lower your hands. You let the book descend. You feel the solid, grounding gravity of the book's weight settling onto your lap. It presses down gently on your thighs. That pressure is a signal. It is a command to your legs to become heavy, to become leaden, to become paralyzed with relaxation. The book acts as an anchor, keeping you here, safe in this chair, preventing you from floating away, yet allowing your mind to drift wherever it pleases. Your gaze lifts to the fire. It is close, so close. The hearth is small, intimate, a personal sun for this velvet universe. You can feel the radiant, prickling heat of the hearth warming the shins and knees. It is a dry, penetrating heat. It moves through the fabric of your clothes, seeping into the skin, into the bone, melting away the last crystalline remnants of cold or stiffness. It is a blanket of thermal comfort that wraps around your lower body. You watch the flames. They are lazy. They lick the wood with a slow, orange tongue. Deep within the stack of wood, you see the pulsing red light of the embers, glowing at the very base of the fire. It breathes, brighter, then dimmer, brighter, then dimmer, synchronized with your own breath, in and out, red and dark. The heart of the fire is beating a rhythm of pure tranquility. Suddenly, but softly, there is a sound from the grate, a single sharp pop of a pine log settling. It does not startle you. It merely deepens the silence that follows. It reminds you that the fire is alive, that it is consuming the wood to create this sanctuary for you. You become aware of the air in the room. Above the fire, the shadows are dancing. You watch deep, wavering shadows stretching and contracting rhythmically across the floorboards. They lengthen and shorten, mimicry of a slow, deep slumber. They are hypnotic pendulums made of darkness and light, sweeping back and forth, sweeping away the dust of the day. And speaking of dust, you see it now. In a shaft of orange firelight that cuts through the gloom, you see dust motes floating in slow motion. They suspend in the air, golden specks of time. They do not fall.
They simply hover, turning slowly, caught in the thermal updraft. You watch one single mote. It drifts up, it drifts down. It is perfectly free. You are that mote, floating, suspended, illuminated. There is a sound, felt more than heard, a vibration in the room, the low-frequency rumble of air being drawn up the chimney draft. It is a continuous bass note, a growl of contentment from the house itself. It vibrates in your chest cavity, a white noise that masks all other thoughts, a sonic shield protecting you from the outside.
Your attention returns to the book in your lap. Your hands are resting on the cover. You explore the edges with your fingertips. You find the smooth, worn-down corners of the leather cover, softened by years of handling. They are round, gentle, eroded by the touch of 1,000 quiet nights like this one. As your finger moves across the lines of text, you notice something, a subtlety. You feel the slight, tactile indentation of the letterpress ink pressed into the paper. The letters are not just on the page, they are in the page. You can feel the shape of the words, the physical imprint of the language. It is a braille of history. Feeling these tiny depressions deepens your trance, focusing your entire awareness on the square inch of paper beneath your finger. You take the corner of the first page between your thumb and forefinger. You prepare to turn it. You lift the paper. It creates an arc of cream against the firelight. You guide it over. Swish. The whisper-soft swish of a page turning, sounding like fabric against fabric. It is a hush, a secret being whispered. The page settles on the left side. You smooth it down. The motion is repetitive, hypnotic. You sink deeper into the overstuffed chair. The elbows sink. The hips sink, the head rests back against the velvet. Your eyes are heavy, so heavy. You look around the room one last time, but you cannot see the walls anymore. The firelight is focusing only on your hands and the book. You notice the room's perimeter fading into a soft, fuzzy darkness, blurring your peripheral vision. The edges of the world are dissolving. The bookshelves are gone. The door is gone. The ceiling is gone. There is only the amber glow of the fire, the weight of the book, the scent of almond and vanilla, and the velvet embrace holding you up.
You are in the velvet nook. You are safe. You are timeless. You are deep. Every breath takes you down. Every crackle of the fire takes you down. Every beat of your heart takes you down. Resting, floating, being. You are merely a consciousness nestled in leather and velvet, watching the dust motes dance, feeling the warmth on your shins, existing in the space between the pages. The story in the book does not matter. The only story is this moment, this slow, eternal, heavy moment. Drifting.
Deeper and deeper still. Chapter 6. Focus on the sensation at the very tips of your fingers. There is a distinct tactile texture here. You feel the sensation of your unique fingerprints sliding slowly, agonizingly slowly, off the slightly rough, textured vellum of the final page. It is a microscopic journey. You can feel the grain of the paper, the tiny ridges and valleys of the parchment that has held this ink for centuries. Your skin catches gently on the surface, a friction that feels loud in the silence, a whisper of physical connection before the separation begins. You pull your hand back, millimeter by millimeter, savoring the release, letting the friction fade into nothingness. The scent of the page rises to meet you. It is a ghostly perfume released by the movement of your hand, and for a moment, it is the only thing in the world. It is the scent of ancient paper, distinct notes of sweet vanilla and bitter almond, hovering there in the space between you and the desk. It lingers there, rich and scholarly. You inhale it, letting that specific history settle in your mind. Slowly, that scent begins to widen, fading into the pervasive, grounding smell of cedar that constitutes the very air of this room. You breathe it in, a long, slow inhalation that fills your lungs with the dust of history and the sweetness of rest. You hold that breath for a heartbeat, and then you let it go. Exhale. Feel the air leaving you. Feel your chest sinking, contracting slowly. Feel your shoulders dropping away from your ears, two heavy weights releasing their hold. As the breath leaves you, it carries away the tension of the narrative, the tension of the day. It creates a vacuum, a soft emptiness that signals to your brain that the time for thinking is over, the time for being is beginning. Your eyes lift from the book, but they do not focus immediately. The room is soft, bathed in a light that seems to belong to another time. It is a honey-thick amber glow, filled with dust motes that are no longer dancing, but drifting in slow motion. Your eyelids feel incredibly heavy. They are weighted curtains, struggling to stay up. You blink, a slow, languid movement, and when your eyes open again, the room has blurred. You notice the spiral wood grain on the ceiling. The swirls of the wood, natural and hypnotic, seem to turn lazily, a slow motion vortex drawing your awareness upward and outward. But you have to fight to see it. Your eyes are losing their ability and their desire to focus. The grain softens, the lines dissolve, Everything is soft edges now. Everything is merging. You are drifting. Now the book must close. Your hand, feeling as though it belongs to a statue, rises with a profound lethargy. The air around you feels thick, viscous, like warm amber syrup. Your hand moves through it with resistance, pushing through the heavy atmosphere. You grasp the edge of the heavy leather cover. It feels cool, substantial, a weight that demands respect. You begin the movement. You lift the cover. It rises, heavy and stiff. You guide it up, watching the arc of the leather moving through the amber air. It reaches the tipping point, standing vertical for a split second. You hear the faint, dry complaint of the ancient spine bending, and now gravity takes over. You guide it over, letting it descend. It comes down slow and steady, a curtain falling on the day. You watch the shadow of the cover fall across the page a moment before the leather follows. Thud. It is not a harsh sound. It is a cushioned, muffled thud of the heavy leather cover finally meeting the back of the book. It is a sound of absolute finality, wrapped in velvet. It is a sound that says, "It is done." The vibration of that impact travels through the desk, ripples up through your arm, and settles deep in your shoulder as a signal to release the last tension you have been holding. Relax. As the cover settles, you catch a tiny, almost imperceptible movement. It is the whisper-thin rustle of the silk bookmark ribbon settling against the book's spine. It sighs as it comes to rest, a slip of crimson fabric finding its home for the night, lying perfectly flat, perfectly still. It is the last movement the book will make. You must move the book to its resting place. Your arm feels incredibly heavy now, detached and distant. You slide the tome across the surface of the desk. It moves with a low, sliding hush. You reach out for the nightstand. You feel the cool, smooth polish of the wooden nightstand against your knuckles as the book is laid to rest. The temperature difference is shocking in the most gentle way. The cool wood soothing your warm skin, grounding you in the physical reality of this safe, enclosed space. You withdraw your hand, and your fingers curl inward, empty now. Their work is finished. The light is changing. You watch, mesmerized, as the ambient honey gold glow of the room dims to a deep, rich amber. The lantern wick is burning low, consuming the last of its energy to tuck you in. The shadows in the corners of the round room grow longer, softer, reaching out like velvet fingers to stroke the edges of the furniture. The light is not leaving, it is merely softening, retreating into the grain of the wood, lowering the energy of the room to match the slowing rhythm of your heart. You shift your weight, preparing to lie down completely. You are sitting on the edge of the bed, and now you let gravity take you. You lean back, swinging your legs up, a slow pendulum motion that feels as though you are moving underwater. You feel the sensation of your body sinking 3 inches deeper into a mattress of compressed, velvet-soft moss. It is not a normal mattress. It is living, breathing, ancient cushioning. It accepts you. It contours perfectly to the curve of your spine, the heavy weight of your hips, the weary relaxation of your shoulders. It holds you,
cradling you in a suspension of organic softness. The silence is profound. It is not an empty silence, it is a presence. You feel the silence pressing against your eardrums with the weight and softness of a thick wool blanket. It muffles the world. It wraps around your head, dampening your thoughts, insulating you from anything that exists outside of this tree. There is a pressure to it, a comforting squeeze that tells you that you are hidden, you are buried deep, you are safe. In this quiet, minute details become monumental. You hear the sound of a single, dry leaf skittering across the floorboards, echoing like a whisper in the silence. Scritch, scratch, stop. It moved, and now it rests. Even the debris of the forest has found its place of stillness. It reminds you that nature operates in cycles of movement and rest, and you are now entering the cycle of rest. You look into the middle distance, staring at nothing. You notice the fading visual of dust motes suspended perfectly still in the air, no longer dancing. Earlier, they spiraled in the lantern light. Now they hang suspended in the amber dusk, frozen in time. They are waiting for you to close your eyes. They are holding their breath. The air itself has ceased to circulate, becoming a blanket of stillness that covers you. A deep, warm, and resonant voice begins to seep into your body. It is not coming from the quilt yet. It is coming from the wall behind the bed. You feel the radiant, organic heat emanating from the heartwood of the tree, warming the lower back. It is a deep, infrared heat, the stored energy of 1,000 suns absorbed by the leaves far above, now radiated back to you in the dark. It penetrates the muscles of your lower back, untying knots, dissolving tension, turning the spine into a fluid line of relaxation. You reach down, your fingers brushing against the fabric at the foot of the bed. You pull. You feel the tactile contrast of a heavy, knitted quilt pulled up to the chin against the cooling air of the room. The wool is coarse and heavy on the outside, soft as cloud on the inside. The weight of it is tremendous, a good crushing weight that pins you to the moss mattress. It creates a seal. Under the quilt, it is warm, private, yours. Above the quilt, the air is cooling, crisp, kissing your face with the freshness of the deep woods. Your limbs are changing. You tried to wiggle a toe, to twitch a finger, but the signal from your brain is slow, distant. You recognize the sensation of limbs turning to warm sand, heavy and impossible to lift. Your legs are bags of warm sand sinking into the moss. Your arms are bags of warm sand resting limp at your sides. Your head is a heavy stone, creating a deep hollow in the pillow. You are anchored. You could not rise if you wanted to, and the beautiful truth is, you do not want to. The room seems to be responding to your surrender. You look at the walls in the dimming light. You get the protective feeling of the curved, bark-lined walls seeming to contract gently, wrapping the space in a hug. The room is getting smaller, cozier, tighter. It is a burrow. It is a cocoon. It is a womb within the wood. The ceiling lowers. The walls draw near, promising that nothing can find you here. Nothing can disturb you here. You are held in the cupped hands of the ancient tree. Deeper you go, deeper into the mattress, deeper into the silence. You become aware of a sound that is not a sound, but a sensation. You feel the very low frequency vibration of the tree's sap rising, felt more in the chest than heard with the ears. Thrum, thrum, thrum. It is the slow, tectonic heartbeat of the tree. It is a rhythm measured in seasons, not seconds. Your own heart begins to entrain to this rhythm, slowing down, spacing out its beats to match the ancient hydraulic pulse of the sanctuary. You are part of the tree now. You are sap and wood and leaf. Far away in a world that no longer matters, there is weather. You hear the distant, underwater-like murmur of wind moving through branches far outside the sanctuary. It sounds like the ocean heard from the bottom of the sea, muted, garbled, irrelevant. It only serves to emphasize how still it is in here. The storm, the wind, the cold, it is all miles away, separated from you by feet of solid, living timber. You are in the eye of the stillness. Your eyes are too heavy to keep open. The lids flutter, once, twice, fighting a losing battle against gravity. They slide down, covering your eyes, sealing you in. But it is not pitch black. You watch the orange-black static shifting slowly behind heavy, closing eyelids. It is a slow, lava lamp morphing of phosphenes, residual neural energy winding down. The shapes drift sluggishly from left to right, dissolving, reforming, fading into a darker, deeper gray. The show is over. The screen is fading. The house settles with you. You hear the rhythmic, slow creaking of the floorboards settling as the tree breathes out for the night. Creak, hush. It is the sound of the wood relaxing, expanding slightly as the temperature drops, shifting its weight just as you shift yours. It is a lullaby of timber. It tells you that the structure is sound, that the tree is standing guard. You take a breath, perhaps the deepest breath you have taken in years. The air enters your nose, cool and dense. You notice the taste of the air becoming thick and still, rich with the drowsy essence of dried pine needles. It tastes like sleep. It tastes like hibernation. It coats your throat with the resinous, soothing flavor of the forest floor. It is an anesthetic, a natural tranquilizer that spreads from your lungs into your blood, carrying the message of sleep to every cell in your body. There's nothing left to do. The book is closed, the light is gone, the leaf has settled, the sap is rising. You are heavy, you are sand, you are moss, you are wood. Time dissolves. There is no past, there is no future. There is only this eternal, stretching moment of comfort. You are drifting down, down through the layers of consciousness, past the level of dreams, down into the root system of sleep. The darkness is velvety and warm. The silence is absolute. The safety is total. You float in this suspended state, held by the moss, covered by the quilt, warmed by the heartwood. The static behind your eyes slows to a halt. The vibration in your chest hums a low, steady note of peace. You are surrendering to the profound stillness of the ancient library. You are drifting into a deep, restorative hibernation within the safety of the tree.